boy.
Next year is going to be the most competitive GPU market we have ever seen. Now, don't say that lightly either, especially after the show we've had this current generation. Just look at the kings from AMD and Nvidia, the 6900 XT and the 3090. They're actually comparable. I know it's not exactly the same, but this is the closest the two companies ever been in almost 6 years. Last time that happened, the Fury X was a thing. To pair, each flagship cards are flushed out with a lineup offering options and performance at many price points. A good chunk of them are solid bangs for your buck if you can find them at MSRP, but others, well, they get the job done. I might argue though, the 6600 XT sells like hotcakes, especially when there are no other hotcakes on sale. On a software level, the feature parity is equal on almost all fronts. Both AMD and Nvidia support ray tracing and their own flavor super sampling. AMD has hopped a bit ahead with their Smart Access memory system, but Nvidia will not let that stand for long. They'll act as quick as their cards are flying off the shelves. Speaking of sales, companies have posted record sales over the past year, mainly driven by the chip shortage, but in reality it's more of a demand spike when you see how the market has grown 37% year over year. It's honestly crazy how much the market has exploded. And in terms of market share, Nvidia is gaining market share over AMD in the dedicated graphics card market, although this point is mildly irrelevant since both companies are experiencing record growth. These sales have led to a leap in physical tech as well, jumping to new die sizes and architecture, which should come to fruition with the next generation of GPUs. And that's enough talking about the current state of the market. Instead, let's talk about what the future will hold. In terms of tech, since we were just on that topic, both companies should be introducing new 5 and 6 nanometer processes. This should bring a sizable boost in power efficiency, and if Nvidia uses the new limit the same way they have with their jump from 14 to 8 nanometers, there'll be a good jump in performance to go along with it. Couple with this with the new architecture being brought to the table, and it's going to be spicy. AMD's RDNA 3 and Nvidia's Ada Lovelace will be coming to the scene and being paired with a new processing node that we just mentioned. And it's going to be good for sure. And just a quick note on the RAM, I don't see this point changing. Flagship's getting 6X, while everything else gets the GDDR6 standard. The amount of RAM shouldn't change either, outside of the base probably being raised to 8 GB flat across the board. What does this all add up to performance though? Well, if you trust some rumor mills, we're looking at 2.5 to 3 times performance uplift. Personally, I doubt it. But I do believe there will be a big jump overall on both sides, somewhere in the neighborhood of 40% like last generation, as well as a fleshed out product line over the course of the generation to go along with it. And as the moment, it does sound like a repeat of what we currently have. So what makes this next year so special? It's actually quite simple. One little X factor. Intel. That's right, Intel should be entering into the big leagues with their own dedicated graphics card. And this isn't just going to be something that powers multiple monitors. We should have a true solid competitor. And codenamed Alchemist, which I love this naming scheme by the way, should be competing around the 3070 level. This is a theoretical number, but it's based on early specs. And when actually looking at these specs, there's one amazing note: the use of TSMC's 6 nanometer process. Right in line with the red and green team, give or take a nanometer. Speaking of being on par, Intel is adding ray tracing to their Alchemist card lineup. And to go along with ray tracing, we should have a competitor to AMD's Smart Access memory system. And you did hear me right on that part, this is going to be a full lineup of cards offered at all ranges. Simply amazing news. When do all of this start to drop though? That's kind of the important part. For Intel, we're looking at a window of Q1 of 2022 with their new dedicated graphics cards. As for AMD and Nvidia, the holiday season of 2022 should be the drop window for these next generations of GPUs. The supply should hopefully improve as well throughout the year too. Fingers crossed on that part. And hey, at least with Intel releasing their new cards, there's a 50% increase in supply right there. So with AMD and Nvidia being at the competitive level once again, as well as Intel joining the fight, we should see a market like nothing we've seen before. The only thing that could possibly make it better is a return to MSRP. It'd be icing on the cake. I doubt it will happen, but hey, it doesn't hurt to hope. What are your thoughts on the future of the GPU market? Are you excited for the new challenger? And how does the current market look to you? Feel free to leave a comment down below, and I would love to hear your thoughts on what I've talked about. While down there, subscribe if you think we've earned it. And if you wish to follow us here at Tech for Thought, our Twitter is tech_4, the number 4_thought. And our Instagram is tech_4, spelled FOR_thought. And if video games are more your thing, check out our affiliate, cultureofgaming.com. I do thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.